In this section, we'll be talking quite a bit about cyberbullying identification, what it is, who does it, and common characteristics of those kids who bully. Children who bully can come from any background, race, income level, family situation, gender, or religion. It's a very diverse population. There are certain common traits that are familiar to us with kids who bully. Typically, kids who bully are quick to blame others for their problems. They lack empathy. They want to be in control, dominant, and powerful. They can be both a poor winner and a sore loser. They're very good at hiding behaviors from adults or talking their way out of difficult situations. They may have a history of violence or aggression or other discipline problems. Let's talk for a moment about proactive versus reactive aggression. Proactive aggression is shown by kids who are cool, calculating, and thoughtful. These are kids who think through their actions and the consequences of their actions before they actually engage in the behavior. And these are the kids I think we really need to be worried about. Then you have the reactive aggression. That's a kid who's hot-headed, who can't control their anger, and who's thoughtless. They haven't really considered the outcome of their behavior. So how do we grow a bully? I think that's important to talk about as well. There are certain environmental influences that help us to understand how kids learn to bully. First of all, we have family factors. In the family of a child who bullies, typically we find a lack of adult supervision and limits. Parents are less able to provide guidance about the safe usage of the internet also in these families. Parents have time constraints and a lack of knowledge about the internet and what their kids are using it for. There are also a lack of consistent consequences for bullying. And of course, in families where kids learn to bully, they may have parents or siblings who also bully. A second environmental factor is school factors. Kids are less attentive to or are not receiving internet safety messages in schools. Only about 8% of the schools in our country have any education for children about internet safety or bullying. Schools also have an inability or an impairment to enforce problems with cyberbullying incidents that happen outside of school. Another issue with school is that staff can ignore bullying or minimize it, that it's a rite of passage. It's just part of growing up. Interpersonal skills may not be fostered and encouraged in the school environment. A third environmental factor are peer group factors. Peer group supports bullying behavior, and that's more likely to make a kid join in. Over 30% of kids are engaging in cyberbullying as a group phenomena. There's a desire to have an audience. Kids are also looking to fit in with others, and that makes it difficult to say no. Finally, we have individual factors that contribute to the development of bullying behavior. Kids who are bullies lack social and interpersonal skills. Then we have the issue of brain development. Teenagers still developing their prefrontal lobes, which are used for reasoning and ethical decision making, so they have more difficulty putting together all of the consequences of their actions. Kids who bully also want to be in control. They're unwilling to accept responsibility for their own actions. They may lack empathy and compassion for others. Offline bullying victimization may also increase the probability of becoming an online bully. Kids who bully offline are also more likely to continue this behavior in cyberspace. Girls are twice as likely to be victims and perpetrators of cyberbullying. 62% of girls interviewed recently said that they had been cyberbullied by another student at school. 46% say they've been cyberbullied by a friend. And 55% say they didn't know who had cyberbullied them. So let's talk about the players in the cyberbullying game. First of all, we have the vigilante. A vigilante is a kid who's cyberbullying. They think that they're doing the right thing. They may be getting back at somebody who's being bullied. Usually a vigilante acts alone, but might tell close friends. The next player in the game is the power-hungry cyberbully. This kid is no different than the schoolyard bully. Power and intimidation drive them. They have a need for an audience and tend to brag. They're looking for a reaction from others. The third player in the cyberbullying game is the kid who's bent on revenge. This kid may act really tough online, but may not act that way offline. They are the most secretive type of cyberbullying and typically can do the most damage. Sometimes these kids will cyberbully by proxy. They will go in and they will hack computers, they will steal passwords, they may set up false accounts online, pretending to be you and giving away your personal information, and then back away and watch what happens. The fourth type are mean girls. This is the most immature type of cyberbully. Usually this cyberbullying is done in a group and targets other girls. The mean girl is also driven by power and a need for admiration. Finally, we have the inadvertent cyberbully. This is a kid who's just doing it for fun or just to get a reaction. These kids aren't thinking about the consequences of their action. So there are lots of different ways that kids cyberbully. One way is to exclude each other offline. Whether they defriend each other on Facebook, they don't return text messages or cell phone calls. Then we have cyber gossip, which is really no different than gossip in real life. Kids may forward private emails. They may steal somebody's password and pose as that person. They may post personal or defamatory information on a social networking site or a public website. Those are just a few of the ways that kids cyberbully.
Hi. So, this is my email, my phone number, and my home address. I don't smoke. I'm a Libra, 5'7", athletic build. I'm straight, and I'm currently available. I love dancing at Club Nada. Me and my girls are pretty much there every weekend. I love Beyonce, Avril, Fergie, and Kanye. How to Lose a Guy in 2 Days is pretty much the best movie ever. I work evenings at Bazooka Burrito. My family is going on a cruise over spring break. It's gonna be awesome. The house will be completely empty. Here's my new flipbook from this killer party last week. Tiffany is so trashed, and there's a shot of her in there kissing some guy who is definitely not her boyfriend. And here's my latest profile pic and my new bikini. Isn't it cute? Well, this is me, TTYL.
So let's talk for a moment or two about social networking sites. Think about the places that you went to as a teen, where your friends hung out. I can remember going to the bowling alley or basketball game or a football game with my friends. In today's cyber world, kids belong to the social networking sites that their friends belong to. MySpace requires its users to be at least 14. Most of the others require you to be at least 13, but it's usually an on your honor rule. In MySpace, kids are encouraged to use their real age, but not their name or a name that identifies them, while Facebook assumes that everyone will use regular email address, which is often a good clue to their identity. The social networking sites are not the bad guys, but we need to be sure that kids are thinking about what they show in their profiles. 61% of 13 to 17-year-olds have a personal profile on a social networking site. Over half of those kids have pictures posted of themselves online. If your child sets up a page on one of these sites, make sure that it's done in a way that is safe and does not reveal your child's identity. Make sure you also check the privacy settings. Social networking can be a great way to connect with friends. I can really see why kids love this. But it can also ruin a child's reputation. It can affect the child's employment or acceptance into schools. Did you know that over half of college admissions offices and employers make it a regular practice to review the social networking sites of their applicants prior to offering employment, college admission, and scholarships? Social networking sites can also be a ripe grounds for cyberbullying. There are many times when kids post horrible things about each other online, or they'll defriend each other, or they will exclude each other in the social networking sites.
Killed him. Oh, man. Oh, dude, check it out. Feel back with pleasure.
Compound A, 46.7% by weight. Compound B,
Once you post your image online, You can't take it back. Anyone can see it. Family, friends, anyone. Remember, think before you post.
So let's shift our attention now to cell phones. I don't know how I could get along without my cell phone. I check my email, I send text, I send pictures. I love it. Kids have cell phones too, and they share and post digital photos and videos. Many of today's cell phones have built-in cameras and can take digital pictures or video, which can then be shared and posted to other sites. Consider what might happen if your child was involved in incriminating behavior and a picture was taken and posted to a social networking site or forwarded to numerous people. Cell phones today also have internet access. A cell phone can provide access to the internet without parental controls or supervision. Of course, most of our kids use text messaging on the phones, and text messages can be sent and received from unknown or blocked numbers. Cell phones can receive instant messages. Another behavior that we really have to talk about with regard to cell phones today is something called sexting. Today, our kids are having sex on the phone. Basically, what that means is they are sending sexually explicit messages to each other and sending sexually explicit photographs of each other. Sexting isn't sexy. Sexy pictures and sexy messages are rarely kept private. They're often shared among kids. And with kids, their relationships change very rapidly. Their best friends change from day to day, their boyfriends and girlfriends change from day to day, and those pictures and information of those messages are being shared with other kids. The other thing that most people don't realize is that having sexually explicit photographs on your telephone is considered to be possession of child pornography. Kids can be arrested for possessing child porn and distributing child porn. So it's really important that kids understand not to share sexy pictures of each other.